we build these like really beautiful golden cages that we can't get out of, but we're like, but I'm so ambitious and this is so fulfilling to me, but I have no life. Hustle. I don't think hustle's a bad word. I think grind, I don't like that word. I like hustle though. There is a season to hustle. Like go, build, get the business. Absolutely. And then, but we're all doing this because we do believe that our businesses, at a certain point, will allow for the financial, abundance, will allow for the freedom. But then we get there and we can't figure it out. We're like, wait a second, I did everything right. When I started to update that self concept and my identity and this whole internal operating system, which I share more about in my coaching, a whole external changed. My team quadrupled with so much ease, with the most amazing agents who are like, I want to be on your team. And I'm like, you're selling 15 million. I think you're good.
Today's episode is one of the most fun to record with Kelly Parker, who is an agent out of Chicago. She's also the founder of Aligned Ambition, which is a coaching program specifically designed for agents. We talk about actually many aspects of her style and approach to coaching, as well as her evaluation technique called the 3Ps, which stay tuned for that. It's a really cool way for you to evaluate yourself, your business, and your team. So if you scroll down to the link below, you can grab the download and check that out. It'll give you a score, and then you'll know how and what adjustments you should start making to your business to improve. Episodes like this have been brought to you by Andy Bovender. He's the founder of the Bovender team out of the Carolinas. Look, him and his team have helped more than 5,000 clients. So needless to say, if you have a friend, family member, or client moving to or from the Carolinas and you need a partner referral agent there, 100% they are the team to call. If you scroll down again to the link below, there's some more information about that. And as always, I'm your host and referral partner out of San Francisco, Sean Conkler. All right, KP, I'm going to hit you with a big question right out of the gate.
Oh,
What's the number one thing holding agents back from being the leader they're destined to be?
we're going right for it.
Oh,
Ready?
we're going fast into this.
It is the self concept that they hold of themselves. It is how they are perceiving themselves and the identity they hold that is actually keeping them from having wonderful teams, thriving businesses. It all comes down to self concept.
Say more.
So we only act in accordance with how we see ourselves. And our
Very true.
identity is based on a series of beliefs that we hold
Yeah.
and then thoughts that we think that then lead to
Good.
how we feel and the actions that we take. So
That's so true. All
in
true.
and so in my world, we call it the path. Your programming, your awareness, your temperature, and your habits. And at the top of the path is literally your identity. All of your programming is based around how you actually see yourself
Hmm.
and then what you then go on to think and do. So
Yeah.
if you don't see yourself as a leader, if you don't see versions of leadership that match how you would want to do it, then you very well may not take the steps or the actions to actualizing a team or building a team in a way that's really, truly supportive of you.
That's fascinating. The first thing that comes to mind is that whole imposter syndrome, which I hate negative labels. Um, It feels like it's a self-imposed thermostat. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
when I hit this certain level, everything shuts off. And
Yeah.
it's now that's my ceiling. And it's
Hmm.
how do you, I know you coach agents on this, but where do you really begin this work?
Ooh. It's around the self-awareness piece. I think that agents, I love our industry so much. We're such actioners. We want to do it. We want to like roll our sleeves up and like tell me the thing, teach me the thing, and I'll get to work. And I really say like the real methodology to success is awareness first, always. And then clarity of intention, and then we can take action. And so we really start with
Hmm.
that deep awareness of like what's been leading you so far. Like, let's look at what's playing out in your reality because your physical world and your reality is truly just the physical manifestation of your programming and your thoughts and your energy.
Dude,
And so we start there. We really start with like deep self-awareness on what got them to where they are right now.
that's so fascinating. I mean, even you just passively posing that question, my internal, I'm like, I'm redlining on everything. Like mine is like, I'm like a race car that's just like tacked out, the engine's screaming and like on the edge of burnout on everything I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's so funny, right? Because for me, it's like all the we so mean well. We all want to get stuff done. We all want to grow. We all want to advance. We all want to like scale and do all these beautiful things. But if we don't update, let me say it like this: if we have an outdated, which all of us really do, an
We do.
outdated self concept of ourself, we will create absolute chaos. We'll be successful. Don't get me wrong. Like all the strategies will still work. We'll still grow the businesses. We'll still scale. We'll still
Yeah.
build teams. And then we will be crushed by the weight of them and all of the success and all of the like responsibility we now hold because we built something sometimes from an outdated self concept of ourselves. And so I found that like when we do that work, literally everything else changes. There's more ease, there's more freedom in our business. We're no longer managing people, we're leading. We're
Yeah.
leading other leaders, which is really the name of the game.
Yeah.
Um, things
Which
start
ultimately leadership is you first. Leaders go first. You lead yourself first out of
yes,
this thing, and then you can help guide other folks.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
so fascinating. And it's true. I'm like reflecting on my own life and my own challenges within business and my personal life. And there's there's definitely a thermostat that
No.
you have to it's like, to your point, it's like you need updated software now.
Yes.
It
Right.
needs a new operating system. I'm
Yeah.
50. It can't be running on 12-year-olds,
No,
Sean's version of whatever it was back then.
totally. Like this is the thing. My whole thing is like we don't have strategy problem. We have an internal operating system problem. We don't have an
Mm,
industry problem. We have an internal operating system problem.
yeah,
So when you update the glitches in here, everything works better. And I think I go through this process, like, I just ran a live experience earlier in the month, and, like, even coming out on the other side of that process, I had to update the self-concept I held of myself. I'm like,
yeah,
"I'm not the same person." And I think every year in our business, we whether it's a great year or it's a down year, we all do something really worth noting
yeah,
throughout the year, and I'm a big believer in, like, truly, like, every few months, give yourself the space to, like, really look at who have you become.
yeah. Yeah, I always liken it to erasing the chalkboard, which I know the term chalkboard dates me automatically out of the gate.
That's that 12-year-old Sean.
But you can't keep writing on it. Like, you have to
You know?
at some point, you have to stop and erase it, and that for me, that's the acknowledgement. That's getting like, recalibrating with myself and
To
assessing and giving myself credit, like, "Hey, I did that. That was my project over there," and, like, giving myself the grace to do it. It's funny, I'm, like, in my I have a I love writing stuff down, so I'll preface it with that. But I have my to-do list in my notebook, and then this is like if I go one page back, I actually have written down like if I have one of these challenging, you give yourself that bullshit story. And so I will literally ask myself, is this true? First question. Second question is this 100% true? So now I'm like really trying to dismantle it. And then the third question is, how do I feel about having this thought?
yeah,
So then
that's
again,
good.
it's like I'm starting to pull it apart. And then how does that thought make me act? And then this is the hard part is take that thought and turn it into the opposite. Like what's the
Yeah,
because we usually default to the worst case scenario, which then gives us
always.
anxiety or stress, but then switch it around.
It's such a good practice.
I'd be willing to bet the hardest part of your day isn't the work. It's the mental load. It's the decision fatigue. It's the shuffling of priorities while you're already playing catch up. You're checking off things from your to do list just as fast as they're getting added. And I'd also be willing to bet Some of those meaningful business relationships you've had in the past have begun to fade. Ace Your Day is a physical deck of 52 strategic cards designed to halt fatigue. Refined by real world results, this system replaces chaos of a to do list with a curated set of high impact actions. It's simple: set a timer for 15 minutes, draw a card, and make your move. The deck handles the thinking, you drive the business. Building a secure business should not be a guessing game. Let's stop overthinking the day and trust a system that prioritizes connections and relationships. Let the deck handle the strategy, you focus on the results. Click the link in the description to reclaim your day 15 minutes at a time. I was talking to an agent yesterday who leapfrogged her business in like 2 years and like jumped multiple price points. And she was like, "What if next year I don't have this amazing of a year?" And I was like, "It's true. What if it doubles?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I, oh, oh,
Oh,
I didn't think of it like that."
yeah. Isn't that funny?
And our brains just go into protection mode, survival
Oh, totally.
all the
We'll
time.
drop down. She's hit a ceiling, right? So she's anytime we hit our upper limit, our brain will literally go to the like worst case scenario, right? So she's probably at an upper limit of what she's arrived at.
Oh, fascinating.
So your
That hit.
subconscious is going to try to pull you back down
Uh,
because it's uncomfortable at that upper limit. But the thing that's so funny is I would have asked her if I'd heard that was like, well, one, as it can't because you're not the same person you were a year ago.
oh,
So in
good.
order to make sure it doesn't happen, we have to anchor in who you have become this year at this level
Hmm.
with this production in these deals. Because if she doesn't update that self concept of herself, a
Yeah.
lot of times what starts happening is I got lucky. It was a fluke. It was a best case scenario of a million things. And I just happen to have a lot of buyers and sellers and things really popped off. And we start to tell ourselves all these stories,
Yeah.
but it's not a fluke. She
It's
led
not.
that.
Agreed.
And our work is to make sure that we stay aligned in the identity to continue to
Yeah.
grow and to go from there and not scale back. And that's where
Yeah.
I see a lot of the pullback is because the work didn't get done to really anchor in who you became in that experience, in that process.
And this is what when your company, your coaching
Yeah.
aligned ambition, this is like specifically the work that you're doing with agents.
Yes, because I'm one, I mean, just to share a little bit about aligned ambition, and like I'm super, super passionate. I think most of us in real estate have a lot of drive and we're high achievers and we have a lot of purpose.
Yeah.
We want to serve. We are like deeply ambitious people.
I
But
agree.
if that ambition is fueled by fear, scarcity, unworthiness, any of the other things, it's going to create a massive amount of misalignment. Meaning, you might create the success, you might have the top producer, you might have the money and the deals and the closings, but very likely you will not have what you originally got into this business for, which was also freedom and spaciousness and ease and the ability to be present with your family and your kids and go on vacation. And instead, we build these like really beautiful golden cages that we can't get out of, but we're like, but I'm so ambitious and this is so fulfilling to me, but I have no life. And so my like biggest belief and what I have lived in my own life, and I'm happy to share more of my story, but also what I'm watching now and all of the people that I coach is like both get to exist. You get to have a highly successful business
Yeah.
and a thriving personal life. Like I haven't worked a weekend, Sean, in 2 years.
Oh, amazing.
Like I'm off of the rat race, but I am still producing. I just get to also live my life and enjoy it.
Yeah. And to give people context, you have a family,
Yes.
you have two successful businesses
Yeah.
or more. I'm not sure.
Two. Yeah,
Is
just
it?
two.
I feel like your hands in another cookie jar.
I got a lot of I got some real estate investments and all sorts of things that keep me busy, but I just got to.
Hey, friends, I have a small favor to ask. For me to continue to bring you outstanding guests who share their best kept secrets for growing a successful real estate business, please take a moment and hit that like button so agents like you can find this content. And also hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Now, back to our show.
It, and so I it's I think it's more powerful you sharing that you're also having the weekends for yourself and for your family for the past 2 years, and you have all of these other successes. And so I hope that somebody's hearing this and they're receiving the permission to figure it out. Like I think we all get caught. I think we get caught in this in the beginning, right? And then there was also the whole hustle culture being just like shoved down our throats. But you in the beginning, you work 8 days a week,
Yeah,
80 hours a day, and it's just and then you get success. So I think our brains go, "Oh, work way too much, get success." So then we go, "Okay, let's do more of that." And we do, and we get more and more successful. But then to your point, it's like now our operating system needs to be updated where those two things don't have they're not one begets the other.
totally.
It's you can work hard within time frames and also be really successful.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, there's seasons, right? There are seasons
Yes.
to like hustle. I don't think hustle's a bad word. I think grind, I don't like that word. I like hustle though. There is a season to hustle. Like
Yeah.
go, build, get the business. Absolutely. And then, but we're all doing this because we do believe that our businesses, at a certain point, will allow for the financial,
Mhm.
abundance, will allow for the freedom. But then we get there and we can't figure it out. We're like, wait a second, I did everything right.
Yeah.
But we actually were quite misaligned while we were at certain stages of the building. That's what caused us to not actualize the thing we really wanted, right? The ultimate things that we want. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I have my journey with this was very real. Like I won't go all the way back. I mean, I started my team in 2012. So I've had
Mm.
my team for a very long time, 14 years now. I have been saying 12 years. I also have to update my timeline. But I've had my team
I
for a long time, but in 2020, I was that person. I was the person who was like, booming year, best year of my career, 2 agents on my team. They were I had developed them into top producers, so they were booming. I
Amazing.
just created more work though, to be honest. Like I just had more
Yes.
clients, more responsibilities. At the time, I had a 4-year-old at home. I
Oof, that's a lot.
was like the deeply ambitious person who like didn't actually know who essentially got in so burned out that I had to take a sabbatical, right? So I took my sabbatical and I realized in that process, I go, okay, wait a second. There was a point in my career where I was deeply aligned. Then I got misaligned in 2016, and that's what led me to this burnout.
Yep.
And I can share more about that. But when I came back, I go, okay, I'm gonna redo everything and I'm gonna do it from an aligned place. And when within a year, I created the same freaking problem all over again.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second, like something's flawed, like something's broken. And that's when I realized it's not a strategy problem. This is an internal Kelly Parker problem that I have to figure out why I keep operating in this way, showing up in this way, and essentially just digging my own grave.
Mm.
And so that's when I started a lot of the internal work
Yeah.
to change my operating system. And part of that work was the identity piece and really understanding and changing my identity as not just someone who thought it would be cool to have other women to work with and we have shared values, so we're going to call this a team, but to really be like I'm actually am a leader.
Mm.
And how do I start to act like one? And when I started to update that self-concept and my identity and this whole internal operating system, which I share more about in my coaching,
Mm.
a whole external changed. My team
Interesting.
quadrupled with so much ease, with the most amazing agents who are like, "I want to be on your team." And I'm like, "You're selling 15 million. I think you're good. Like, you seem to know what you're doing, and they want to be here because of
Mm.
what this ecosystem is now, and so the team quadrupled, I got more freedom back on my calendar, I was able to start my second business, and so I share this, yeah, not as just like a cool hook, as, like, the true, actual, I believe, formula that we really weren't taught when we got into this business.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack there. That's incredible. And I feel like I've had a very similar worked my ass off in a few years, built really solid, strong business, completely burnt myself out, and then crashed and burned, rebuilt it, basically did the same thing. I was like, hold on, what am I doing? This is crazy. And simultaneously, I don't think I've worked a weekend in, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and
Yay!
it's great. It's great. Like, and I feel Monday, I'm like, let's go. Whereas I
Same.
remember I would just view it was like, oh, today's day and this is just week. Like I never knew it was just this run-on sentence and I was always fried and I feel so
Yeah.
much just mentally better and I have
Revi
more projects now and work I work a lot, but I work less collective
Yes.
hours.
That's the thing, I have 2 businesses, both are thriving and so well,
Yeah.
and don't require nearly the f the degree of what it did before,
It's wild, right?
and so it's wild, it's like I'm doing more, growing more, things are just expanding,
Yeah.
and I'm happier and I have more time, like, I was looking at my calendar and I'm like, "Huh, there's not one thing I didn't wanna do this week." I was like, "I chose all of this." Like, our
That's
time
amazing.
together, a call before this, like, yesterday was a whole day of other stuff, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is what I chose."
It's funny, even before our call, I'm like, "Hey, I'm just gonna start recording with friends, people I just genuinely wanna hang out with." Like,
Yeah.
that's because I can, and it's amazing. Yeah, and it's not to say this as a brag, but, like, I'm happy with where I'm at. Like, I'm literally waiting for a text. I have a $3 million closing today, which is
Yay.
amazing. We have Susie and I created the Ace Your Day deck. That's a whole business leg that's dropping. And I'm probably about 95% of the way through a rewrite of The Insider's Guide to Home Buying. And
Awesome.
it's like these are big projects.
Yes.
And as I just shared, I'm working less. Like I'm not
Yeah.
working 80 hours a week. I work Monday through Friday. Fridays are a 100% marketing day for me. It's probably the day I get the most joy. Like this is
Same.
the highlight of my day.
Yeah. And I think you said at the beginning, like, "It's not a brag," and I'm like, "No, it's good. It's brag, because we actually need more evidence of this. We
Yeah.
need, to see other examples of what's possible." Because genuinely, I think specifically in the real estate space, we only sort of see specific examples of, like,
We see the
top
Instagram.
you see the Instagram, you see,
Yeah.
the top producer who, like, has no life, who has 2 kids at home, and I was shocked when I found out this person had 2 kids at home. I'm like, "She has kids?" I see her out, she's hustling all the time, and so we see these examples and we think that's what it has to be, and I think we
Yeah.
need more of us who are doing it differently to really give people the permission that, like, you get to do this differently, you get to build it in a way that feels good for you. It it And it's a lot easier than we think. It's just the inside job.
I think for me, and to your point, it was an inside job. For me, like I'm a huge fan of one-page business plans because it keeps me very succinct. Like you can't put silly stuff on and you can't put shiny objects on. Like
That's
and it
great.
usually just literally is like hang out with people. Like is usually what it all boils down to. It's like make new friends and
Yeah,
then stay in touch with them. And that's it. Like that's basically
simple.
the business plan. But it helps keep me on pace. But I think for me after my second burnout, what really and it was the internal work, but it was really recalibrating myself of how do I define success? Like
Yes.
what does that look like for me? and not the generic, well, I want more money in my account. It's like, well, here's an extra dollar. That's more. You're successful. And it's like, that's not specific. Like, and so then similarly, I created like my one page of how I define success. Like, which one page seems like a lot, it's not. And you have to be, I had to be push myself to be hyper specific. And on there was, I want my weekends back. I want to be able to, hang out on the couch in the morning with my dog and drink a coffee. And when I feel like it, roll to the gym and have a good workout. And
Yeah,
like, this is how I'm defining success now. And that was my big recalibration. And I'm curious if you had something
totally.
similar.
I love that you're bringing this up because I did something similar. Like on the heels of my burnout, I wrote a paragraph to myself of like,
Oh,
this is what I want my life to look and feel like.
yeah.
And it was what you're saying. It was a line to my self definition of success. And
Yeah.
on there was not sell $50 million in real estate. It was I wanted to help my team grow their businesses. I wanted to be present for my daughter. I wanted the ability to take a month off, which I'm doing in June. I'm going to go be with my
Amazing.
sister, help her with her second kid, take my kiddo with me. Like I'm taking that for June and I did it last year too, but yes, I wrote it was about 6 sentences of my vision for my life, which is then became the anchor of my definition of success. So
Wow.
if these things that my deeply ambitious self likes to do is like make new goals and set new things to strive for, right? Like
Me
if it
too.
doesn't fit, then it can't be on the page like what you're
Yeah.
saying. And it really keeps you locked into one what matters. And I
Yeah.
think that's really helpful because if we do not choose our own definitions of success, we will build something that is so misaligned with what we actually want,
Yeah.
and
It's
that
true.
is a very miserable place to sit.
It's so true. It's funny, and I'm laughing because I'm like drawing another parallel. But I'm deeply into denim, and I love like really high quality workwear and things like that. But I bought this book of color design. It's a Japanese book. It's a beautiful book, which actually was inspired from the book that you gave me on denim workwear. But similarly, anytime I come across something, I'm like, oh, I really like that. And I always look as a guide, does it match this color? Like this,
No.
because the way that I buy things is anything will match everything.
Oh,
And
cool.
so I never have to think about what I'm wearing. I just buy stuff that I really like, but all the colors will always go together. And
Yeah.
so I always stay within like a very tight family. And similar to your goals, it's like you match it,
Yeah.
and like as soon as it's outside of that, you just have to say, this is an amazing opportunity, it's just not for me, not now, thank
Yeah.
you. And it's like, move along. And that's, for me, that getting to that point was more freeing and more like permitting to like really own the success that I actually wanted.
Yeah.
It changed the game for me.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it reframes everything. And then you're deeply conscious of the actions you're taking and the choices you're making because that is what actually creates all of our results. And then but I
Mm.
think sometimes we think we're just a product of the circumstances
Yeah.
and we're not.
I think, I definitely think it's the circumstances. I think we're a product of the culture, the agent to culture.
Yeah.
And I think by human nature we're, I want to say lazy, but I'll call it efficient to be nice. Is we just look at somebody that said, and we look at them, we'll call them a role model, and you're like, well, she's putting up $100 million annually. She has 4 people on her team. She has an assistant. That's the model. Let me just copy that. And so out of
Yeah.
efficiency, we copy that, but we never ask, oh, how am I looking at leadership? Am I a leader? What are the skills I need to be a leader? Do I want to lead? Does this match my definition of success? And we start to build these things without always knowing what we're building. as a
Right.
collective community within as agents. I see it all
Uh-huh.
the time.
I agree. I see it all of the time. And so that is always like why one of the first questions is like, what do you actually want? I
Mm,
understand, especially if we use teams as the example, right? Like, I think we understand that we do need support and that teams, if done well, can provide that. That's why I started mine for 2 reasons. I started because I genuinely wanted to help another woman. I was like, what's working for me is quite unique and it's a little bit differently than how the industry is telling us to do it. Let me share with you. But I also needed support. So that was sort of our like, very like reciprocal relationship of like I would mentor and pour into her and she would support me. And
Yeah.
and but to your point, I just knew I never really liked the way that teams were structured in this like very hierarchical way. So I
Yeah.
didn't want to copy and rebuild that. But I don't think that to what you're saying is that most take a beat to think about that. They just think I'm at this level. I can't keep doing it like this. The thing that I modeled and I see out here is that I need a team. And then they start to look for like all the how to's to do it just to copy essentially, and that's okay. That's like human
Yeah.
nature. We have been raised that somebody else knows better, and if it's working for them, it must work for us.
100%.
And so we just copy it, right? And so it's nobody's fault, but it is. It's that like moment in time where you stop and decide, well, what do I want?
Yeah.
Why do I want it? And I have found this question to be so critically important because your why and everybody's why is very different will inform what you build and how you build it.
It's true.
And so for me, my why was like, I just wanted other women to like experience and grow their businesses in a way that really worked for me and to be able to pass that down and to be in community with other people who shared my same values and my same standards. Like that was my why. My
Yeah.
why wasn't to like cash in on all of their deals. It was I wanted this and then that informed how I built it, which was way more of an ecosystem and not like a hierarchical, like, main it's not the Kelly Parker team. It's not what it's called. It's been Home Collective for 14 years. And so it informed everything that I did. I didn't know, and this is
Yeah.
what I want people to know so badly. You don't have to know how to do it. It's
Yeah.
not required.
It's so funny. We've never had this conversation, but my team is Homeward Associates, and the same thing. I view like Nancy works with me, and she's my business partner.
Yeah.
Like that's how I view her. We're peers, and she has 10 years of experience and has amazing opinions, and
Yeah.
like share, like let me know. Like the goal is the client, and the goal is to grow the business. And so I don't. It's funny. I don't really do that whole hierarchical thing. I mean, I do for payrolls, but that's about it. But
Yeah.
outside of that, it's what do you got? Like bring what you got to the table. You have experiences and ideas and thoughts and knowledge, and let's
It's
hash it out.
communal. Like, it to me,
Yeah.
it's like some of the best teams are deeply communal and they are there's a reciprocation. I'm like
Yeah.
shared knowledge, shared resources, shared
Yeah.
support. Like, and I'm the elderliest person on my team. Everybody else is like I got everybody from 38 going down to like 22 at this point now.
How big is
Um
your team now?
there's 10 of us.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I
That's.
know.
I mean, I just kind of want to rewind a little bit. That's a significant size team in business,
Yeah.
and that's your second business, and you have a family,
Yeah.
and you have weekends off. Like that's
Yes. Yeah.
massive.
But
And
let's
I hope somebody hears that and they're like, "Oh, I can do that too." That's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I'm not managing any of them. They are all self-led,
That's
and this is what I want people to know is so available
Yeah.
that you can have that, and so there's no I do not feel I could take on 10 more, and it will not be any more work or burden because I understand, one, like, what I've built and who belongs here, but it's because they're all self-led,
Well,
and
Kelly, I mean, we should have just spent the whole episode on talking about that because I feel like that component of leadership is such a hard puzzle piece for everybody to figure out. I
yeah,
think leadership is very aloof and very hard to figure out for most.
Yeah.
in addition to management. And the two are vastly different from one another, in my opinion and experience. But to then build that team, and that's the operative word is build.
Hmm.
Um, have you ever studied the Patagonia business model?
Not in great depth, but
It's pretty fascinating. It's similar. It's a flat business model, and you
uh,
basically work on the things you want to work on, and within that, no one has titles.
yeah,
And so, and
yeah,
it's a highly successful business. But I was watching an interview with the founder, and somebody had asked, "Well, how do I turn my company into this?" And he was like, "You can't. You
mhm,
either build it
yeah,
in the whole, like the whole thing is built is
yeah.
in this concept,
Yeah.
or it's
So,
not."
yeah, I mean, this is literally this is what I coach. This is what I do. This is what I do with, like, people who wanna be team leaders, who already do have teams. I
Yeah.
worked with a team in Philly. They started in my world in the summer. An agent on the team was in my coaching, and she went to her team lead and said, "I think you need to meet Kelly." She ended up in my coaching, and I ended up coaching her whole team to turn the team around because
Wow.
it was being built from a place that was really misaligned, I think, for everybody. That person several of the agents were ready to leave the team, and so I coached the team leader in this model and this
Yeah.
way of being, and and it's literally transformed the team. She has since grown, like, it's a complete 180. She's a great fabulous guest to have too on your podcast maybe sometime, but
Yeah.
it's really possible, and in quick I'm talking 6 months, she is, like, in a different place,
Wow.
and so there are tools available, but it starts with you. And in
Yeah.
this whole concept of leadership is you have to lead yourself all
Yeah.
of the time, which means you do need someone to support you in that journey. Like, I have my
Yeah.
own coaches and my own mentors who hold up mirrors to me and reflect things back so that I
Yeah.
can continue to lead myself in order for all of this to work and for all of them, for that to then trickle down to all of them. So
Yeah.
it's possible. And I really want it for people because when you get that level of support, your whole life changes.
It's I haven't done that. So I'll preface it with that. But I do know when I hired my first assistant, I stopped waking up at 3 in the morning with the, oh shit. Did I send that document out? And where's this thing? And let me
Yeah,
email myself so I remember in the morning. Like a whole, your nervous system is able to start coming
totally.
down.
Yeah.
Um, but and I like what you said too about you having coaches and mentors and peers. That is so incredibly important. And I
No.
like that's what this podcast has given me. I have access to all these amazing people, and there's so many like you who I call and I'm like, hey, I need your opinion on this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yes.
it's great. It's such a invaluable tool that I I would not be where I'm at without just having
Yeah,
like my own support system and coaches, if you will.
yeah. And I
Um,
want I want people to hear that because I think we sometimes think we really have to do it alone.
no, I think that's such a, I think it's bullshit.
So it's such bullshit. And it's particularly seems to get really bad when you've really like you're like at a great top producer level where
Yeah.
you think like I've arrived almost, but it's like that's actually when a lot of people need it the most.
Mhm.
Um and so no one does this alone. No one who is doing what people admire are ever doing it alone.
I I always liken it to pick any basketball player, hockey player, soccer, whatever your sport is, pick the most amazing player of players and pick a time in their career when they didn't have a coach or a lot of coaches.
A lot.
Because they have their main coach, the assistant coach, they have their own personal trainers, they have their kinesiologist, they have a whole team behind them.
Yeah.
And in within that, each of those coaches, if you will, specializes in that one thing to
Oh,
get them
right.
to the next level.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
what I have 3. They're all specialized in something different.
right?
I don't
It's a smart way to play it.
Yeah. Like, resource yourself.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game. So,
Yeah.
it no one wins an extra prize for being self-made because self-made is also made up. It's not real,
That's not
right?
real.
But I think there's something in our culture that says like it's more valuable if you figured it out and did it. And so no, don't.
It's so funny and totally not related, but this is how my brain works. In like the 70s, actors were like secretly weightlifting. It was like not a thing you did publicly because you wanted to look like that's how you naturally
Oh,
were.
isn't that so
And so
funny?
there was like a shame
No
if you
way.
were lifting weights to augment your body.
Okay, this is what's happening in the coaching space, by the way. I'm telling you. That's so wild. That's so funny to think about that from like now. It's like you've got go to Venice Beach and it's like the thing
On
you do.
display. Like everything's like
Right.
this like show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
gyms are like literally everywhere. Where in the 60s, 70s, they were not. That was
Yeah.
not
No.
not the
That is
thing.
so wild to think about. That's great. But yeah, I mean, it's happening in the coaching space. You hear it all the time. Like people have their like secret weapons or things that they keep in the background. And it's like, no, it is okay. Like
Yeah.
you you don't win a gold medal just because you seemingly appear to have figured it
Mm.
out. And
Yeah.
that's funny.
I
I'm
think
not
simultaneously with like sharing your secret,
Mhm.
the reality is if somebody is smart and savvy enough, they'll have figured it out and they're doing it themselves. And they will not be able to replicate you because you're you.
You're you.
Right. And simultaneously they're doing a whole bunch of other stuff that you're not doing and vice versa. And so
Yep.
who cares is my first part. And then the
Totally.
other group of people that you're sharing it to won't do it anyways. So who cares?
Well, they
So
to kind of go back to the internal operating system, it's like you can have all the strategies and all the tactics in the world, right? But like if this stuff isn't aligned for it, it'll either create different results than you
yeah.
or they won't use it at all to your point. And so it's like who cares? Like this is why I'm like the freebie I'm going to share with you. People have been like this is kind of gold and you should just not give this away for free. And I'm like, I don't have it. Please use it. If you put it to work,
Yeah.
awesome. I want you to do that, right?
Wait. So what is this? Tell me more
So
about this.
I
This.
have I need a better name, Sean, for it, but I just call it the 3 Ps, but it is there are 3 things, very particular things that I are literally just what lead to people having thriving, consistent businesses.
Okay.
And I don't think we talk about it or explain it in the way I think we hear so many different things, but I've organized it in a way that is like what I go back to every year. I so I'll give you the thing they can download it and they can read all about it. The first is your positioning, the
Okay.
second is your people, and the third is your pathways. If your positioning is a level 10, if your people are level 10 and your pathways are level 10, you should have a rocking, consistent, top producing level real estate business. And so I
Okay.
think it's really helpful. And in there is like several pages of like explaining this and reading through it and being able to
Yeah.
really self identify like which one of these am I strong in and where am I weak? Because we throw darts at the board all day long. I'm like, maybe I need more marketing and
All
maybe
day.
I need to do events and maybe I need to do this. And a lot of times we're working on the wrong thing. And
Yeah.
and so this
Yeah.
is really helpful to see like, okay, wait, I need these 3 things and it's only 3 things to have a
Yeah.
very successful business. So you can read it and then there's a quiz you can take at the end that'll help you sort of rank which one needs your attention first. And I just find it to be
Interesting.
really helpful. And so like I take myself and my whole team through it every year and we identify where we need to focus our attention. And this thing has become really useful for me to even like coach the women on my team, like, hey, let's talk about your P's. Where are you at?
Yeah.
It's also how I decide, like, as I'm growing, it's also really useful for if you want to start a team or scale a team. It totally applies in that camp.
Yeah.
It even applies to the second business I started. It was like, I need my positioning, my
Oh,
people,
geez. I'm
and my pathways.
when you share the link, I'll put it in the description, but I'm gonna jump on this thing today. Like
I think with everything you're up to, it would be so cool to see for you to see it in this way.
yeah, I think so too. Because yeah, I feel like as you were saying, it's like I feel like I'm sitting down at the flight deck of a 747 and I'm like, which button lever do I push now? I'm just like just stabbing at stuff and I'm like, oh, I heard the engine go on. That must be
Yeah.
right.
Huh. I think that brought some, that landed. Okay, great. Yeah. So it's
What
really
are
helpful.
like high level, what are
Like, how are you defining position, people, and path?
Yeah, I mean, high level position is like, how am I positioned in the market and to my people, to like my positioning? Do people in the most like basic of ways, right? Do people know that I'm a real estate agent? Do they know that I'm a real estate agent
It's a good
in
question to ask for sure.
like, even if we were just to start from like the most basic of basic places, right? Like, do they know it? Or the positioning could be like, am I seen as an authority? Like, have I actually told people what I've accomplished in my business for people to want to be on my team?
Really quick, not to interrupt
Yeah.
you on that, but I was just doing research on Claude on basically optimizing SEO and positioning myself.
Yeah.
Those stats are hyper critical for AI to find you.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You have to continue to share those stats.
And this will play right into that because you'll start if you even take this and then talk to Claude about like how do I elevate my positioning even though I have a lot of things in there specific to what you're talking about, like it is that's why it's at the top of this whole thing
Yeah,
is if you are not known, if you aren't positioned. And sometimes we want to change our positioning, right? Like sometimes we were known as first time home buyers or whatever and now we want to
yeah,
be known as luxury.
yeah.
Then you understand, okay, this is this whole guide breaks it all down
Love that.
for that positioning. And then people is literally, are you bringing people in? Are you in relationship to, and we hear all this on all the time in real estate, like be in touch with people, talk to your CRM, whatever. That's great. But if you don't have positioning, then none of the people thing matters, first of all.
Correct.
But second of all, you have to bring more people in consistently. And this really breaks down and talks about all of the ways to do that, but how to prioritize it too, because you can't make lemonade if you don't have lemons to juice. And so it really talks about the people. And then the pathways is you can have the positioning and you can have the people, but if you do not have a clear pathway for how they essentially convert into
Mhm.
being a client, and this is where I see so many things are broken down.
Yeah.
A lot of breakdowns in this camp. Like someone puts you on the text and they want, hey, I've got my friend and he's looking to buy, and you don't have a pathway. You wonder why they ghosted you. And
Yeah.
so it's to me, it's like it's very clear. It's what I built all of my businesses on. It is the core of all cores. And when you can understand it and then actually locate yourself, then
Yeah.
you can actually take the action that creates meaningful change.
The follow-up is I have 25 years of sales experience. That is every agent I've ever brought onto my team, the number one biggest skill gap they have is just understanding the frequency of getting in front of people and what the workflow is. And as a team lead, simultaneously, it's your system follow up with those people you're trying to recruit, with your
7.
different vendors. It's like multi layers, and that's always a spot that falls apart. Years ago, I did jujitsu, and if you know anything about martial arts, if you try to do a move but you don't have the right position, you're going to get countered. And
Mm.
so the instructor always said position before submission. Like don't go for your attack until you have a solid position. Like
Oh,
your
nice.
position has to be solid and it's number one. And it's amazing that your number one is position because
Yeah.
if it's not, it's foundational. If you don't have the foundation, everything else is it's a
Yeah.
loss.
And this is like my thing. Everyone's so focused on like posting on social media and getting the leads and all of these things. And I was like, well, that's kind of step two. Like if you don't have a position, and you really
Yeah.
need all three, you need a position and a pathway. And so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I like that. What was the saying in jujitsu? Position. You have to find your position before you.
It's position before submission.
Nice. Okay.
So basically, don't go for the attack until you're like solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll flip it on you.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if you take this even same formula with marketing and
had a great position, you got to the right people, but then you got flooded with 100 leads and you have no
Your
pathway.
big pathway. Yeah.
You just blew 100 leads.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's really helpful too for team leads. I hear a lot of people who are in leading or and I want to actually say managing teams because they think there's a difference.
Yeah.
Managing teams and they're like, I'm just so frustrated. They're not doing this and they're not doing that and they're not taking it seriously. This is such a great resource. One,
Yeah.
to provide as a team lead to sit down and say, I know how we can make your business successful and
Yeah.
here it is in a very succinct, clear way. I think so many people don't do what know what they're told they should do because they don't understand why. And then we're so flooded and kind of
Correct.
overwhelmed with like, I know I'm supposed to be doing all these things, but how does it really work together?
Yeah.
And so I think this is just a cool way to see how it works together. So I think
Oh,
even
it's so interesting. I feel like we should do a roadshow with Susie because
yeah,
that program fits exactly with the Ace Your Day. The
yeah,
Ace Your Day, it's a deck of literally 52 things that if you did them for 15 minutes, which each card is a 15-minute task, they touch on the four suits, the four different areas of your business. But the biggest piece of feedback we got was, oh, it gave me permission to do that thing I knew I should be doing, I just haven't been.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it gets them to revisit it. And as team leads, like, hey, every Monday we're going to meet for an hour and do four cards.
Great.
Like, can you imagine how the whole team cohesion, and you
Yes.
have your positioning in place, you have your people now in place, and then you have your pathway running, and you now have this other system on top,
Hmm.
like that layer.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody transforming their business, their team in 6 months, I feel like you can shave that down even by shave off another
Oh,
month.
for sure.
Just
Yeah.
I mean, I hear it all the time. We hear it on the inner circle of how everybody's got that one or two people on the team. They're like, I just can't get them back to center. I don't, they're
Yeah.
off doing their own little thing. I've tried everything.
Right. Which yeah, which one might mean that they weren't the right fit, right? Because
Yeah,
we allowed for something to happen that maybe shouldn't have happened. But two, I
true.
think you get to see as a team lead because I believe that every team can offer something so different. So for me, I wanted this to be an ecosystem that support I have a lot of top producing women on my team. Some of them have been with
Yeah.
me for 15 years now.
Holy
Um,
cow.
doing $30 million. They don't wanna leave the team because this is an ecosystem that supports them while they're out supporting everybody else. But what I think surprises people when they hear about my team is I don't provide a transaction coordinator. I don't provide a personal assistant to them. What I provide is a brand and marketing and brand equity and recognition and
Mm,
pathways and positioning. I literally have all 3 Ps. I have the positioning for them, I have the marketing to bring in the people, and I have the pathways.
yeah.
So, if you're trying to figure out what is your value proposition as a team leader, the 3 Ps are really helpful too, because I think sometimes people think I need to be a rainmaker, and the only reason people would be on my team is if I give them leads.
Yeah.
Well, that's not I don't do that on my team. Everyone fishes on their own,
Yeah.
right? I don't I've gotten involved with teams that they're like, "I'm bleeding out because I'm offering TC and marketing and this," and they're not producing,
Yeah.
right? Or they are producing and we are barely this doesn't make sense because financially, why would I keep doing this if I could just sell my own business and not have all these expenses?
Yeah.
And so this also really helps with identifying what is your value proposition as a team
Mhm.
because it gets to be very different. First of all, full permission for it to be unlike anything you've seen and what feels right for you. Because if
Yeah.
it's right for you, it'll be right for other people. So I think I just like how multi useful and dimensional this is from all
Mm.
different lenses of what people are navigating and trying to do.
And I feel, and this is of the context of having sat down with 160 top agents, is having these conversations before you start building, right? It's like, don't order the lumber and start putting up a frame before you have an architectural drawing.
Hmm.
And sitting with a coach like you and saying, "Hey, here's who I am. Like, here's how I'm defining success. Like, what structure actually makes the most sense, and then what offerings to attract people, the right people,
Right.
makes the most
Right.
sense. And
Yeah.
then what does that financial model look like and what makes sense? And I think the majority of agents, we get, we do that hustle grind, we build a really strong, successful base. We then just, we look around, we find a warm body, we're like, you'll do. And then they last 3, maybe 6 months, and you fire them because they didn't do things right. But there's no structure, there's no training, there's no
Yeah.
systems, there's no process, and then you're burning out and you're right back at square one.
Yep.
And it's, I've seen that cycle, gosh, so many
Mhm.
times myself.
Mhm. And that was the cycle that this most recent client was in. Like
Yeah.
people and it was a cycle, and it's a cycle because not to like be redundant again, but because the internal operating system didn't change. And so
Yeah.
when you start to realize like, okay, I am a leader, this is the value that I provide. This is
Yeah.
me confidently standing in the value I provide, which is like a whole conversation of its own, right? And then let me start building from there with with people who've done it because
Yeah.
you don't have to know how to do this. Like, this is what I keep coming back to is we don't not do it because you don't know how. The how is actually not required. And it's like just start leading yourself into the spaces that make you
Yeah.
a match for the thing that you ultimately want to be doing. So, yeah, it's a whole topic we can talk about
I
like
love it. I
over giving on commission splits and like I just see all these things and I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, I just thought because and I swear everyone is actually most of the time very generous and caring and wanting to take care of people.
Yeah, I think it comes from a really good place. So this happened to a friend of mine. Crazy. She was doing like moderately well, hired an assistant, didn't, again, out of structure, like, oh, I'll just pay you on percentage. The assistant at the end of the year, because her business had jumped, her assistant made more than her at the close of the year. I'm like,
No.
that's because she didn't put a cap on it, did it based
Yeah.
on just percent, and then had a wildly successful year. And it's like, whereas a
Darn.
coach would have been like, wait, there's no cap on the percent,
Huge problem.
or why are you doing a percent? You have the revenue.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do it as a salary, and here's how you structure it. But this person, had they invested in a coach, would have saved
Oh.
God knows how much money on the back end, and then would have had a. I mean, now imagine saying to your assistant, "Hey, you just made a you just crushed like well into the six figures, and now surprise, you're getting like a tenth of that."
Yeah. Yeah. And how's that
Like,
gonna go down?
yeah, how's the culture going to be from that
Mhm.
point forward, and how much
Mhm.
longer is that person going to be with you?
Can be that.
And so it's, you're now creating downline all these other problems.
Yeah.
But I genuinely appreciate the way that you start it, is it starts inside with the individual,
Mhm.
and then builds from there. Because as I was sharing before we recorded, the leadership piece is still it's hard for me to, it was hard for me to wrap my head around and understand. And I wound up reading a ton of books on the topic and listening to interviews, and really trying to understand, um what's his name, Maxwell. I can't remember his name. John Maxwell has a ton of books on leadership. Those
Yeah.
really helped me understand it. And then I think through the understanding, I did it backwards, but it was helping me internally recalibrate, which
Yeah.
I still struggle with from time to time. I'm of like I sit in front of Andy, who's got like $5 billion in transactions, and I'm like, Who am I next to this guy?" Like,
Yeah.
and so I feel it too all the time. And so that's my internal, and then I have to have that internal conversation of like, is it true?
Yeah.
Is it 100% true?
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think like I will say one thing on the the imposter syndrome or the self-doubt.
yeah.
Y'all, like say this, I joke a lot. It literally sits shotgun all the time for me. If she's
Yeah.
here, there's a person that's always like, "Who do you think you are?" or like, you're not good enough or you're whatever. And I just come to terms that, like, she doesn't get the floor, she doesn't get the driver's seat, she can sit shotgun, but, like, I do believe, and I've same thing, I read so many books that every great leader has really doubted it because a lot of times you are
Everybody.
doing it differently, and I
Yeah.
do think that's the ultimate definition of leadership is you are leading yourself,
Yeah.
and by leading yourself means you've actually probably seen it done a way that doesn't feel right for you and you wanna do it a different way.
Yeah.
And that's going to come it's gonna bring up a lot.
Yeah.
And so, I I think that the best leaders are actually the most imperfect ones. I am an imperfect leader. I tell this to my team all the time. I am not going to do it perfectly, and here's how
Yeah.
we navigate that, and here's how we have hard conversations, and here's how we do these things, like, give yourself the same grace, right? We were just
Yeah.
talking about this before we got on of, like, I I really I just think that that's such a powerful thing to remove this expectation of being able to do it right and perfectly, and just know that the truest definition of leadership is imperfection, and to give yourself the grace and others along the
Mm.
way.
Yeah, I definitely you need to learn to dance with it, is how I
Mhm.
view it, is you just dance with it. You're not getting rid of it. It's not going anywhere. You're
No,
doing something that you've never done before. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. Dance with it.
dance with it. Like,
Just dance with
beautiful.
it. Like,
If it
it's not going away. Like, make it
and
your
if
partner.
that's the thing, if it's working, you'll actually keep doing stuff you've never done before.
Right.
This
Which
is
means you're always in a state of discomfort. Always.
always. And I'm always in a state of figuring it out. I'm like, "Well, that worked. We've grown. Now
Yeah.
we're expanding into this market. Now we're doing
Yeah.
this thing. It's gonna be uncomfortable. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it perfectly. We're gonna figure it out as we go." And we have a aligned operating system
Yeah.
within all of my relationships so that we know how to navigate the imperfections and, like,
Yeah. It's
it
true.
it's a dance. And so don't not don't go after what you wanna go after because you're afraid of fucking it up. Because
It's true. Well, even, as I'm reflecting on our conversation, it's like when you were talking about burning out and then getting out of burnout and then just going right back into it. I connected with you because I did the same stupid thing.
yeah,
And it's like that was the reality is I mucked it up twice. But
yeah.
I connected with you now on a different level because oh, she gets it. I get it. Like we're now on the same page. And so there's something endearing and identifying when you can connect with the flaws of another human,
How?
and especially when you get off Instagram and all of that. But then and if you maybe didn't have the same screw up as we talked about earlier, I think before we recorded, is then be curious. Like, hey, what did you learn when you went into this? Or what were the markers so I don't do it? And then that's when conversations, relationships, that's when they actually start to bloom because it's now through these flaws in seeing the world. Oh, let me see the world through Kelly's eyes. Oh, that makes total sense of how she arrived there. Oh, actually, I'm doing that same pattern over here. Let me not do that because it seems like I'll probably get the same result.
Yeah.
And then, hey, how did you navigate this? And then you're like, oh my God, I totally did this and it worked amazing. And it's transformative for relationships.
Oh,
And
it's
I
so
think
transformative.
eh,
Especially for teams, like, we use this internally at my team, like, curiosity is one of our tools. So, like,
so good. It's
if
so
you are
good.
feeling a certain way, and there's a whole vocabulary if you're below the line versus above the line, and this is, like, all what I coach and teach. If you're feeling a certain way and you're below the line, your number one tool is to be curious. And that
Mm,
and so because what we do a lot of times is we feel a certain way and we write a story. Like,
yes.
"Oh my
We fill
god,
in the blanks.
Kelly's totally trying to cut me out of this deal," or like, "Wow," or I don't even know what story, right? Or like, "She doesn't care about being on this team, and she doesn't appreciate this lead I just gave her." Like, we just write stories. And
Yeah.
instead,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
be curious. "Hey, you said this thing, it triggered this feeling in me. I just was kind of curious, like, what you meant by that.
Yeah.
Where are you coming from?" And then the wildest thing will happen. They'll tell you the truth.
It's true.
And then you're like, "Oh, wait, that's what you meant?" Or,
Yeah.
"Oh, you had that conversation before this one and you didn't know I wasn't a part of that conversation and so
Yeah.
you thought I knew?" And then the next thing you know, you're like, oh, we're just dancing with our own damn stories.
Yeah.
And thank you for telling me the truth. And now we can move on. Now we can clear it. Now I don't have to
And
kick you off my team, or now I don't have to like it's so rampant. And so
yeah.
if you take anything from this podcast today, it's like just go be curious because it will change everything. Curiosity cures all. That's what we
It,
say.
it really does. And I know this from being in a leadership position is we're conditioned to see the whole field, everything all at once. We see all the chess moves. We're playing all the different moves simultaneously. Somebody comes at us and they ask a question like, no, don't do that. And then we just keep moving. But we didn't give them any context of all the other shit we saw happening. And they just were like, wow, that was rude.
Yeah.
Whereas then they just come back and be like, hey, I'm really curious how you arrived there. You arrived at that no.
Yeah.
And then they can actually get the context. But as a leader, it's like slow things down and and kind of get people up to speed, because I
Yeah.
know that was always, that is continues to be my default. I make that mistake still all the time. Um we always follow, I don't know if you can hear my dog scratching.
Was that I thought someone was now physically sawing a tree, like, with, like
No, my dog is like, she's got a toy in her mouth and she's like trying to dig a hole in her bed right now.
what's the dog's name again? It's like
Scout.
Scout. Scout, that's right.
She's a little crazy Australian cattle dog. I love her to death, but she drives me
She's
crazy.
she's out of it.
Oh goodness. And now she's staring at me. Um, what was the path I was on? Oh, with leadership, um, slowing down
Fast.
is is the thing. Oh, the rule, I was gonna share this. I like the above the line, below the line. I think that's a really elegant way to do that. And the way that we always approach it, and I try to encourage everybody, is the 80-20 rule.
None.
Is let's spend 20% of the time on the problem and 80% on the solution,
Yeah.
which always puts you in a more creative, positive space rather than 80% of why'd you do this, blah, blah, blah. They hate
Yeah.
me. The world hates me. This is going to implode.
Yeah, and it's so much even if you think about that from teams, right? Like, when you really empower them to excuse me, to find the solution and not just fixate on the problem
Yeah.
and realize that they're co-collaborating in the creation of everything.
Yeah.
Because what can happen, and I've seen this happen, I'm sure people experience in their team where someone's dissatisfied or someone's got a lot of opinions, but not a lot of responsibility around them,
Yeah.
right? And so culturally making that the 80-20, I think is such a great way to keep
Yeah.
people in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that stuff
Yeah.
takes things down real quick.
It's funny, even it's, I'm reflecting on my years in evolution, is there was a point where everybody was coming to me with questions and I was just getting blown up 7 days a week. It was like ridiculous. And I had a coach, Melinda, who was like, stop answering the question and or stop answering it and start posing it as a question. And so I would say, that's a great question. Give me three possible solutions and which one you would choose.
Yeah.
And then like the questions just stopped because they knew how to solve it by, let me look at three different possible outcomes and then choose the best one. And then they would just do it independently. And
Yeah.
it like
It's a game
almost
changer.
like immediately dried up.
Yeah.
But that's, again, that hinges back on having a coach, of having, stepping outside of yourself and being like, this thing is driving me crazy. I don't know how to fix it.
It's happening. Totally. Yeah. And I think it's such a great tool of like turning it around back to them and saying, like, well, figure it out.
Yeah.
Because what you're really doing is take some responsibility
Yeah. You're
and
empowering them.
you're
Yeah.
empowering them. And like this is like really big on my team is
Yeah.
100% responsibility. You see
Yeah.
a problem, you all probably see a solution.
Yeah.
And you're probably seeing a problem I don't see from where I'm sitting. So instead of complaining about the problem
Good
or
point.
bringing the problem or gossiping about the problem, what is your 100% responsibility that you can do with where you're sitting? And I think this is this like, it's a bigger concept around like agency and people really understanding that they are co creators of everything that's
Mhm.
happening. And so same, I get a lot of like, "What would you do in this situation?" Right? About a deal and that's what I'm here for,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, like
Uh,
a legal complexity for sure. Like don't
right.
try to
But, like,
don't run into the battlefield by yourself.
don't yeah, that's my rule. I'm like, "I'm glad I've empowered you, but also I coulda helped you on that one." So, like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't run out on your own, but s
Um
that's it for universally, like, yeah, you don't have to do it alone.
yeah, and it's interesting and I'm like reflecting now at one point which we kind of gotten away from, but I just gave everybody a budget, a petty cash budget, and I
Mm,
said either use it to fix a problem or reward somebody for doing something amazing for us. And it
nice.
could be like a vendor who shuffled their schedule, buy him cookies and be like, "Thank you so much for being amazing. We appreciate it."
I'm so grateful.
It
Yeah, yeah.
it goes such a long way, but empowering, like actually giving everybody the autonomy to just you
Yes.
go find it. You have to spend this money. Go thank somebody. Be grateful. Like you
Right,
can find somebody. It's easy.
right. And I think when you do that, they show up differently within your team and within your relationship. Like, when you give that to someone,
Yeah.
this is why I feel like I watch women rise, the women in my group, but like everybody I coach, like you start to rise because
Yeah.
you've 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 given them something and a way to actualize and to sort of like take authority and agency in their life.
Yeah.
And then you realize how capable and powerful you are.
Well, it's really fascinating, and now that I'm like thinking about it, is humans have it's a reticulating activating system in our brains, and I'll just call it RIS for short.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like when you buy a new car, and it's like you buy a red car, and then you pull it out of the
Oh yeah.
dealership, and all of a sudden you see red cars literally everywhere, and you're like, "Oh my god, I've never seen so many red cars. This is incredible." It's because the RAS has been activated in your brain. And so if you're then walking around with, let's say, 200 bucks in your pocket, looking for a way to thank somebody and be grateful, your brain is
Yes.
like lit up. The RIS is lit up to look for good
Yeah.
versus the way that we easily can default to is this all sucks. I hate everybody. Like when I got on the call, I was like,
Yeah.
I hate everybody today.
And then
But
you
it flips
already
the script.
yeah.
Yeah, this conversation helped flip my RAS. You know what else helped? While we're on this call, I got an amazing text that we're on record. My clients are the happy homeowners of a brand new home.
Yay!
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's a good
thank
sale
you.
to close out a Friday.
Yeah, it's amazing. It feels, and these are such, when you work with like just super cool,
Yeah.
grateful people, and we did the final walkthrough yesterday, and they were walking out, and they're like, "We're not gonna get to hang out with you as much anymore." And I was like, "Yeah, it's like that, like, oh, it's kind of it's over."
I genuinely feel that way. Every time I have a client close, I have like it's actually very sad for me because I'm like, I love my clients. I love hanging out. And I'm
Yeah.
also a total Irish goodbyer, and I've had to not do that in my business and not be like ghost because I'm an awkward goodbyer. Um, but it is like it doesn't go over well in real estate, let me tell you. You gotta like do the things, but I feel you. So those are sad ones to lose, but it's nice to have closed, and I'm sure like in your network
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh my god, this one was a hard-fought battle. The property received 9 offers, and yeah, they had to basically swing for the fences. It was pretty crazy.
Is your market super intense? Well, ours
The
is a bit.
single family home market is batshit crazy. It's
Yeah.
just it's nothing I've ever seen, and the other thing is I've never, ever, ever worked with this many cash buyers at one time.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot here too.
It's bonkers, and
Yeah.
it's just bonkers, and there's stuff that it's just it's like it's undefinable. Properties one day on the market, 3 preemptive offers. It's like a million over list, and you're just like, holy crap! Like there was one that these clients actually, we went to go see it. We were the second party to see it.
Mm,
I got back to my office ordered the disclosures and they had already received a preemptive. We started to look at the disclosures and they had accepted it.
Step. Yeah.
It was that crazy of an offer. It was that aggressive
Wow. That
that
they
the
just like
sellers were like, we're just taking it.
take it.
They
Yeah.
literally, the property had 2 people view it. And
Yeah. That's nuts. I mean, we're seeing a lot of that. I mean, Chicago's very much on fire right now in terms of like not a lot of inventory, a massive amount of demand. But one
yeah,
particular neighborhood, Lincoln Park, is having a moment. I don't know why everybody, I mean, it's
really.
always been a great neighborhood, but now it's just to the point where 10, not even 10, 20, 25 offers and people it's numbers that you're like, "What is happening?" And the
Yeah.
newest thing, and it cash has been floating around, like, no one has contingencies anymore, but we're now what this past week is no inspections. People are just saying, "We won't even do an inspection." And then my heart falls out of my body, and I'm like, "I don't know how we can advise," but you just gotta do it. It's just competitive as all get out for
I
us
mean,
right now.
that's where, as your fiduciary and as your agent, I will tell you that you should never waive any contingency. But here's the math of
Yeah,
what's really happening. You decide. But here are
yeah,
all the
there's a lot of
risks.
there's a lot of just so that I'm on the record, I don't
Yeah.
advise this,
Yeah,
but this is what you have to do.
and that's what, so in San Francisco, what the listing agent will then do, so we do get those clean offers, is they just order reams of inspections. So you have the roof, the
True.
general, the pest,
That's
and they
nice.
just go through all the systems of the house. And then it's pretty much at that point, you have
You know.
all the bases, like all the primary bases. Of course, if there's red flags, you can do other ones. But then what we generally do in our market, most of the time, proper, like if it's not bonkers, it'll sit for 2 weeks before they call for offers, or the agent will tell you
Yeah.
they're calling for offers. So then what you do is you get in on the first Saturday, they see it, you get the disclosures. Come Monday, if there's any question marks, you get your own inspections. So then they're ready to write, and then they can
Oh,
write contingency free because everything's been disclosed up front.
because I had heard that California has a 10-day rule where
Oh,
you
what?
a 10-day rule where you have to be on the market without except you don't?
No,
Okay.
no.
I would wish we would put this rule in place, truthfully, where we could do that. Because we're having a lot of issues where people say that they're gonna go through the weekend and then someone writes a sick offer and no one else gets a chance.
I,
But
I personally think, I think if you market or advertise an offer date, and like, you can receive one, but if the seller accepts it, I think there should be some sort of like, I think something should happen because more and more people just start writing. Like if you're a smart agent and you're savvy, and you just start, you'll send in preemptive offers.
yeah.
But then you're creating this weird precedence, and
Mm,
then simultaneously that listing agent, you start getting a smudge because you're the one who will accept preemptives.
yeah.
Um, where I usually will be like, hey, my clients are just not, they're not available. We're looking at offers on Wednesday. Please do not submit until Wednesday. Hold your preemptives.
Yeah.
And like, it's like I'll publish it everywhere. And you sometimes get the clown who
Yeah.
will throw it
Yeah.
in, and you're like,
I
so
know.
who knows?
I'm always like,
Um
who's in charge here?
that
That's
that's
what I always I'm like,
it's like it's the Wild West.
yeah.
Kelly, this was awesome, and I genuinely, I always enjoy sitting down and hanging out with you. The 3 Ps are, I actually wrote them down. I think it's incredible, and I'm definitely gonna download it myself and sit with Nancy and work through it.
Do it.
Um,
Let me know how it goes. Tell me what
yeah,
you'll get an auto email after to like take a quiz on it. Tell
yeah.
me what you score because it'll be interesting.
I don't want to tell you because it'll be bad.
No,
Something will be
it's
bad.
no. Oh, literally, one of my clients said that a new client, she's like, I'm a 4 across the board. So
I'm
I'm
such
like,
a perfectionist. Like I just,
4
like if I don't
across
get a
me. I'm
great
like,
score, I'm like, "Ah, darn it."
I know. I know. Perfection is not the goal, Sean. It's what we just talked about.
I know I'm the worst. I'm so uncoachable sometimes.
Oh, I know, believe me. I fight my perfection tendencies all day, every day. That's who's sitting shotgun always.
Mine is I really have to remind myself if it's not public facing, 80% is good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really have to be like, it's not
Because
public facing, it's fine.
you understand too, like the high achiever, ambitious ones of us, our 80 is usually like 150 anyways.
It's totally true.
Like, this is the like, so you're good. It's okay. But
It's
I literally have to remind myself this all of the time.
it's hilarious. This drives me. So here's the Ace Your Day deck.
Yeah.
This is the proof deck. I was literally, I don't know if you can see it, but I was melting down
Oh.
that the spacing at the top,
Oh, it's slightly off.
it's slightly off. And obviously 90% of people would not notice it. It drives me crazy. So
No, I
for
tell you.
obviously the next print, like that's getting all, I'm like,
Yeah.
you check every single line, everything's perfect. And
Yep.
it's the German side
Perfect.
of me.
Yeah, you should talk to Janet, my assistant, about where it comes out in me. We haven't ordered new home collective tote bags because every sample I get, I go, absolutely not. And she's like, "Ah," I go, look at this thing, look at this thing. And she's like, dude, we just gotta go. And I go, no, I'm gonna this
Oh,
thing.
just get LL Bean ones.
I know I can't. My
Just
standards are too high. Oh, the LLB ones are nice. I know. Yeah. I know.
they're like perfect, and they're like the millennials love them these days.
This is what she's telling me. I know. I'll just have to go for it. But
It's true. I
I feel you.
listen. I follow like the classic line. So I'm telling you,
I know
it's a
you.
thing.
I'm gonna need your cheat sheet on like the color matching because I don't do that.
All right, I'm gonna send you one of these Amazon. It's a
Oh,
color wheel, and so it'll tell you here like
oh,
what colors complement. And then you can also see, like, for
wait,
example,
yeah,
like these colors all, like if you're doing like a monochromatic, like your
yeah,
shirt,
yeah,
like see how they all flow together?
totally. And then the
Um,
opposite, so like the one on the other end, does it go with it too?
yeah, so like let's say you have like your red pants or
Yeah.
red shirt, and then like these are what are they
Oh,
called? The
complementary.
triadic colors.
Oh, okay. Wait, I do need to buy this.
It's really it's silly, but it's like really helpful, especially when you're designing things and you're looking at like like when we were designing the cards. Like it's really
Yeah,
helpful to understand because I'm not in design. And
yeah,
so understanding
that makes sense.
putting stuff together, it's like an easy way to cheat.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if I call it cheating. I think you just know stuff that we apparently all didn't get taught.
I'm that's I- I'm so I'm diagnosed with ADHD at 50, which is crazy. But I always thought like my brain is just wired to be efficient,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I always called like super lazy and I just don't like doing things. And so I always just try to find the quickest way to A to Z. And it's like, well, if
Well,
I don't understand colors or what goes together, there's got to be a way for me to
right.
cheat. And that's how I find these
Nice.
crazy things. My desk is like littered with stuff like this.
With with it with the I wanna call it a shortcut, but it's not a shortcut. It's an efficient.
It's efficiency. And
Yeah, it's the whole, like, who it's different, but it's like the who, not how. It's like at certain stages of our lives and careers, it's not up to us to figure out how to do something, it's to find the who that can do it.
yeah,
There's, like and I'm a very much in the who stage, no longer how. I don't need to know, like, I like that trick, like, the color thing,
yeah,
because 'cause I'm like, "I don't need to retain this in my head. Just
yeah.
give me the thing that, like,
It's
tells me how to do it."
That's what and I can't retain this, like, I have trouble recalling stuff, my memory is just fried, and so and then simultaneously, I know that the latter part of the day, after 2 o'clock, do not give me a hard decision, and, like,
Oh,
at dinner time, don't ask me where to eat, like, I am fried by that
yeah,
point, I can't My decision abilities are gone. And so in the morning, the first thing you do is you get dressed. So I buy all my stuff
That makes
to
sense.
I can mix and match, and I don't have to think about everything matches everything. And
Yeah.
it's like one of those layers of it takes away the decision. And so like the color wheel, like if we're looking at designs and
Yeah.
I don't that's just not my
Yeah.
space.
It
I
helps
can be
you.
like, hey, let's add a complementary color. This one will work. Done.
I feel
And
you.
it's like thumbnails. We were joking about them before the podcast. We're tweaking those. And like, hey, you're throwing like this. We're using a lot of red. Oh, look, we can use a complementary green.
Oh,
Let's brighten it up and see what that looks like. Like and I know it's gonna match. Like,
yeah.
and I don't
It's your
have to think about it
it's your
anymore.
quick hack. Like we all have to have them. Like certain just like operating principles so we don't have to like spend a lot of like that precious like
Yeah.
yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wear the same thing every day. Sean. I
I
just
I'm totally guilty of that.
I usually put this on and I go, "Did I wear this on the last podcast?" I don't know.
You know
Unsure.
what's really funny is on the podcast, like sometimes it'll be a whole series, and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm wearing the same shirt, like in multiple. Could we just like switch these episodes around so it looks
Yeah,
like I actually
it's
have more than two
fashionable.
shirts?"
Yeah. I
It's
at
so
least like
funny.
I was gonna text this morning and be like, "I don't want to no suit. With your suit and your tie, like your dress shirt." I was like, "You." I was so I'm happy to see I got denim, Sean, today.
I've actually I don't know the last time I actually wore a suit recording.
We good. I feel like
I've
our very
totally
first podcast you did maybe, but maybe not.
probably I feel like I've totally like I've based
Retired it.
on position. I've rebranded my position, and I've actually changed like the Ace Your Day is about doing the work,
Yeah.
right? It's not about we're drowning in information. Like there's nothing that you can't get an answer to in moments. And
Totally.
so we're in a phase I think where we just need to actually like internally you need to do the work or with your business. It's like it's just doing the work, executing.
Yep.
And so simultaneously, I really like denim and I like workwear. And so I'm like, you know what? The workwear and the getting the work done with the cards, they match. And I've
That's
just
hot.
very intentionally been rebranding myself with the brand. And
Totally like
I think there's a funny irony of eventually, doing stage talks and things like that, wearing workwear, talking about doing work to a bunch of dripped out agents wearing Gucci
please.
and LV,
Please.
right?
You'll be your category of 1.
That's what and I don't I still have that 15-year-old punk rock kid in me
Yeah.
that I can't I cannot look like everybody else.
Same. Yeah. No, I can't. I will not be wearing 6-inch stilettos and dresses to showings. I'm a sneakers and jeans and, and I love it a lot when we all feel confident enough to really show up as who we are in this industry.
Yeah, which is huge, I think.
Huge. It's also what changes everything in your business too.
I think so. Yeah, I'm very much leaning into Ralph Lauren and I'm trying to figure out how far I could push it for retreat this year
Oh.
of
Wait, tell
like
me more.
I'm like trying to figure out like, well, there's always the formal event, and I'm like, well, how unformal can I
Can you
show
go?
up to this thing but look intentional?
Wait, I love this. Now my gears are going. This is gonna be this that's great. I can't wait. It'll be good. You always are so stylish. I already was like, wait, what am I gonna wear when we do our happy hour? Because I know Sean's gonna like look slick. I can't wear denim like you can wear denim. So yeah.
It's funny. It's because we're throwing an event for those people tuning in. But I've contemplated. I don't know if I'll do it, but I've contemplated doing double denim.
I was gonna say you need the Canadian tuxedo, please, man. Just
It
like
just like really pushed that envelope.
please. Like I demand it, truly.
I mean, I'm
Like
borderline today. I got this is
This is actually one of my favorite shirts.
I
Is
like
that
the double fits. Is it a like, what is that? A jacket?
this is so all right, let me show you the fit.
Wait, let's get a fit
This is
check.
how funny I am.
Fit
This
check.
is
Wait, I'm gonna see a
like
picture.
this is the most beat up army
I took
shirt.
a picture.
So this is a it's a vintage 1970s army shirt that has like paint and oil stains and mismatched buttons, and it's one of my favorites.
That's great.
And then Cielo was in Japan and brought me back this chore coat,
Cool.
which it's a indigo dyed Sajiko chore coat, and
Oh,
I love it. Like this is
yeah.
so comfortable.
What a great
Um,
gift.
yeah, so it's denim, and then I'm wearing obviously denim jeans today. So I'm contemplating how to like push the envelope with our events and then
Do it.
with the rest of the retreat because well, the whole thing is to talk about the cards and position myself, but we meet thousands of agents and how do you then stand out in a very unique way?
Yeah.
And so I think our clothing is it's always an overlooked leg of marketing
Yeah, I
is the
would agree.
reality.
I would totally agree with that. Well, you style and represent well, my friend. So
I appreciate it.
I'll be excited to see what you wear in person.
All right, Kelly, that is a wrap.